Hey everyone, I hope you're having a great weekend. I just wanted to talk to you about something that seems to be something that comes up quite often with a lot of the people that I work with, and even something that came up in my life, and that is how to get your family and your friends, your peers, or the people that are around you that are important to support you in your journey, whatever that is. So I wanted to give you a few tips on how I got my family to support me and how I was able to find a network of people that helped me get to my goals quicker and easier. I started my fitness and weight loss journey back in early 2012. And if you've been following my story via Facebook or you know me, you know that my life was very unhealthy before I made the decision to lose weight. And it really just started with losing weight. So when I made the decision, I just put it upon my whole family. And you have to understand, to go from a complete 180 like that is pretty jarring for one person's life and reality. And then if you put it upon the other people that are in your life that didn't ask for it or aren't ready to make the changes, it can be pretty shocking to them. And a lot of times people get scared. People don't like that you're trying to control their life. They don't understand. And they're scared too. That's one thing I've realized is working with a lot of people is that when they're making the changes, it's oftentimes scary for people around them because they fear that, are you going to leave me when you change? Are you trying to change me? So I've learned throughout the last almost 4 years how to go about it a little bit more delicately and gently. And I understand that when you just get something, you want everybody around you to get it and to support you, and it can be very frustrating. So number one, I want to remind you that you don't need anybody's approval or support to do what you need to do. I myself have found that whenever somebody is against me or doubts me, or those naysayers, they're the ones that really push me to not give up. So number one, just remind yourself every day that you're going to face animosity in anything in life, and that you need to use that energy instead of being upset or feeling defeated. Put that into what you're doing. A lot of times I will say that family members and spouses, and they aren't really being the naysayers or negative. They're just afraid that you're going to fail, and they don't want you to fail, and they don't want you to suffer the heartbreak or the frustration or disappointment that comes with failure, especially if they're the ones in your life that you usually turn to. So understand that sometimes that their way of saying things maybe is not communicated correctly for what they're feeling. But number two is, I think it's very important, and I really understand this more than anything now that I'm on a quest to 100% sobriety, is to make sure that you're making it known to everyone around you and declare what your goals are, and also explain to them why you're doing it, and most of all, why it's important to you. And if you stick to your goals, whatever it is, whether it's sticking to a healthy diet, getting into a routine with good sleeping habits, or trying to cut back on alcohol, and maybe like me going for 100% sobriety, is that you need to stick with it. People are going to respect you, and they're going to support you, and they're not going to tempt you if they know that you really mean it 100%. So if you haven't, subtle clues, especially if you're a woman trying to get a man to do something, men are not as intuitive as women, and people communicate a lot differently, and men and women communicate their feelings and their thoughts a lot different than somebody of the opposite sex. So make sure that it doesn't have to be this, oh my God, we need to talk, because that's pretty scary to everybody. But make sure that there is a moment where, people aren't, passing by in the house or in a rush where all of a sudden you start barking orders or wanting to have this really elaborate, lengthy, serious conversation. But make sure that you make it known to your spouse what you're doing and why you're doing it and why it's important, and that, you don't expect them necessarily to join you, but to support you. And if they're saying things that you view as negative, and that you're taking as, that they're doubting you, that they're, that they don't believe in you, communicate that as well. And there's ways to communicate things without making it sound like it's going to turn into a fight or the other person to get defensive. The best thing that I've learned through therapy is that when you're communicating something, you don't want to say, you're so negative and you just make me want to quit. You are the reason why I never stick to anything because you always tell me I'm going to fail, and it really makes me feel horrible. When you say that, it makes people get on the defensive, and that's probably not what they meant, but it may be the way you interpreted it. So there is no wrong or right there. But, saying something like, I feel that when you make those statements that you don't believe in me, and I really could use your support because it's going to help me stay on track. So I wanted to share those tips with you that, don't impose your goals on somebody else, but just lead by example and make, great choices, and let your family and the people around you understand that you're doing this to better yourself. And that when you do that, it's going to improve the quality of your life, improve your attitude, your mindset, as well as really make your relationship with them a lot better. That's one thing that I really try to tell women a lot, is because I talk to women, ages 20 to 50 who are trying to get healthy, trying to improve their fitness level, trying to lose weight because they are just at a low point in their life. They feel crappy. They don't like what they see in the mirror. They don't believe in themselves. So many of us women seem to lose ourselves in the midst of trying to be a good mom and a good wife and take care of all the responsibilities that we have. And we expect our spouse to understand. We expect our children to be, have a gratitude and have a grateful heart and appreciate everything. And we hold this all inside. So the best thing is really communicating it and making sure that you tell, your husband that, I really could use your faith in me. I could use your support. And I would love that if you just didn't belittle me, and if you, could help me make better choices and remind me in, not a domineering way, but really support me, because when I do this, I'm going to feel better. I'm going to have more energy for you, more energy for our children. I'm going to be in a better mood. So if maybe you could help me 30, 45 minutes a day, and I know you're tired, but if you could just help out with the kids or help me in the kitchen, that way I have time to work out. Because when I do, I'm going to feel like a badass, and I'm going to feel sexy, and I'm going to feel confident, and that is no doubt going to really affect our whole family. I'm not doing this for any other reason but to feel good about myself, and because I want to set a great example and really improve our quality of life and create a better lifestyle for us. So, I would suggest trying that. And also with your friends too. If you're trying to stop drinking, tell everybody around you that you're trying to get sober, or you're trying to cut back, or that you're trying to stick to your goals to lose weight. And going to the bar, going to parties, or drinking, or whatever it is not really in the equation. And that you still love them, you still want to spend time with them, and come up with other ways to, find time for your friends so they don't feel that your life is just being completely changed and there's no room for them. So I hope these tips helped you. And if you have any suggestions on how you've talked to people in your life that were really important about changes you've made that were significant in your life and got their support, I'd love to hear from it. So have a wonderful weekend.